Broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Erin Page, and I'm the Senior Law Librarian on staff with Fastcase Legal Research. Before we get started, just a couple of quick housekeeping announcements, and then we'll get started with today's training session on Fastcase 7. The first announcement, you might have noticed that you're currently in listen-only mode. This is to cut down on the amount of background noise so everyone can hear me and can see what's going on with the system. However, you are still welcome to ask questions during today's presentation. On your GoToWebinar pop-up, which should still be on your screen, there is a button labeled Questions. If you enter your questions into that box, I'll be able to see them during the presentation, and I'll do my best to work the answer into the flow of what we're discussing. I'll also pause at the very end of today's session to see if we have any questions that I've missed, or if you want to hold your questions till then, that's fine too. Second, quick announcement. If you have questions after today's presentation, the Fastcase team welcomes getting your feedback, welcomes helping you see something in more detail. We're always happy to help. You can always reach out to us 3 different ways, and I'll pop our contact information up at the end of the session as well. You can reach out to us by phone, 866-773-2782. You can email us. Our email address is support, that's SUPPORT, @fastcase.com. But I most especially want to show you this little button down here in the corner. And this is available in Fastcase 6 and in Fastcase 7. This is the live chat program, and this allows you to chat directly with our outreach and reference team. So if you use that chat box, you're talking to the DC office, just down the street from the DC bar, actually, and you can talk live with a law librarian like myself, or a reference attorney who can help you with tech questions, who can help you with reference questions. We're always happy to help. And I really encourage the use of that live chat box if you have a reference question regarding a Boolean search in particular. Boolean searching is something that we do teach, so if you have questions about that, we're happy to help with that. But the phrases for Boolean searching can get pretty long pretty quickly. So in the interest of you not having to listen to us say part by part what the search phrase we're recommending is, I do recommend checking out that live chat box because you'll be able to see the exact phrase that we're suggesting. We can send you links to particular pages to help you navigate to where you need to be. And it's a lot easier, especially for those long Boolean search phrases. So I want to encourage anyone, again, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us during the webinar. You can go ahead and ask those questions using the questions box. After the webinar, call us, email us, live chat us. We're happy to help. If anyone is having difficulty hearing, click on the audio button on your GoToWebinar. Make sure it's set for computer audio if you want to use your computer speakers, or if you would prefer to call in and to hear the audio, make sure it's got the phone option selected so that you'll have the phone number to call in. So again, that'll be on your GoToWebinar pop-up. There'll be a button labeled Questions, and there'll also be a separate button labeled Audio. All right, so with those quick housekeeping announcements out of the way, let's get started. So the first thing I want to point out is that everyone who is a DC Bar member in good standing has access to Fastcase automatically. You don't need to sign up, you don't have to pay a thing, and you don't need a separate username and password. All you need in order to access Fastcase is to remember what your login is for the dcbar.org website. So you log in just as if you were going to pay your bar dues, and under Member Benefits, you'll see the link for Fastcase. So that's the page that you see on the screen right now. Hopefully this screen is a little bit familiar to you, but this is how you access Fastcase. So I'm not logged in as a DC Bar member, but if I were, all I'd have to do is click on Fastcase, and I would be sent to the Fastcase system. So the screen you're seeing now, this should be familiar hopefully to most of you. This is Fastcase 6. This is our standard system, the one that's been a great member benefit for years. And you are still welcome to use this system. It's still a great system. However, this is now our older system, and we are working on putting all of our new functions, our new content, our new features, all the cool new stuff is going into our new system, which is called Fastcase 7. So Fastcase 7 is already accessible to you as a member of the DC bar. So you can access it very quickly from this Fastcase 6 homepage that you'll see automatically. So in the top right-hand corner of the page, you'll see a welcome message and your name. Just to the left of that welcome message, there's this small toggle button, and that's the button that you would hit in order to go to Fastcase 7. So again, very simple. You just hit that button, and you're automatically transferred to Fastcase 7, which is the screen you see right here. So this is Fastcase 7, and this is what I'm going to focus on for today because we are getting ready to make the switch, which means that when you log into Fastcase, instead of seeing that classic Fastcase 6 system automatically, you're going to see Fastcase 7. Now, that does not mean Fastcase 6 is going away yet. It will still be accessible to you, but you're going to see Fastcase 7 automatically. And that's because we want to be sure everyone has a chance to see how awesome Fastcase 7 is, and to take advantage of all of the new tools, features, content, literally everything that is available through the Fastcase 7 system. It looks like we have a question. Are you planning on making the Patent Office's USPQ decisions available? Yes, actually one of the big projects we're working on this summer is an expansion of our database. USPQ is something we're working on, and we have other expansions that we're working on right now. So do keep an eye out, and we will report or let you know when those new databases, when that new content is available in the Fastcase system. Alrighty. Yes, there is a PDF guide, and you'll see where it is in just a moment. So this is the Fastcase 7 homepage, and the idea behind Fastcase 7 was that we wanted to make it easier for everyone to access the materials no matter where they were in the system. So you'll see a lot of tools that are now along the edges of the screen, so you can access them whenever you want to. We're also making sure that there's less steps involved in using the tools. So we're trying to make sure that you don't have to go back and forth on the pages, and I'll point out how you can check for that on your screen as well. Okay. I just sent a message to everyone, but if you are not hearing through your computer audio, make sure you've selected the phone option and use the phone alternative instead. So when we're looking at the Fastcase 7 system, yes, we will be sharing a recording of this presentation as well. So from this homepage, there's a couple of tools that are immediately accessible right here on the homepage. And I'm just going to go over them quickly so you can see what you have access to. The first thing I want to point out is the Fastcase blog, which is right here at the bottom of the page. The Fastcase blog is where we post announcements about Fastcase. And let me tell you, we're updating constantly. New tools, new features, new content, you name it, we're adding it to the Fastcase 7 system. So I recommend taking a quick glance at the blog so that you can see what the latest differences are since the last time you logged in. Now, this particular announcement, this is for our Leaders in Law series. That's our brand new webinar series that we're doing on some luminaries in important issues. So I do recommend checking that out personally. But you'll see announcements like the one I mentioned for new content. When we have the USPQ decisions in the system, there'll be an announcement as part of the blog, etc. Just to the left of the Fastcase blog, you'll see a link to Docket Alarm. Docket Alarm is Fastcase's sister product, and it's designed to interface with state and federal dockets to pull the rest of the information about the case. So the docket itself, the complaints, the motions, the orders, all of that information. It is not included in your DC bar access, but it is something that you can add to your access if you choose to do so. So again, this would be an optional add-on, but we are integrating some of the great data from Docket Alarm into Fastcase. So you'll see some of the announcements about that, and you'll see some Docket Alarm content in Fastcase, especially towards the end of the summer. And if you're looking for access to various dockets, the DC Superior Court is one of the dockets that's available through Docket Alarm. To the left of the Docket Alarm icon, you're going to see History and Favorites. And this is where I'm going to point out one of the things that has changed majorly between Fastcase 6 and Fastcase 7. And again, all of these icons I'm pointing out down here are also accessible here at the top of the page. So if I click on History and Favorites, the first thing you're going to see is the search history. So this is something you had access to on Fastcase 6, but you could only see your 10 most recent searches. And let me tell you, it's very easy to run more than 10 searches and then regret that you can no longer access that first search. So in Fastcase 7, we've expanded that considerably. So instead of having 10 searches, you have 10,000 searches. And you can see for all of your searches, the search phrase you used, the jurisdiction you ran that search in, when you ran it, and you can simply scroll down to see all of that search history information. And again, this search history is tied to your individual login, which means that you're the only person who can access it, so it is secure and confidential for your client's confidentiality purposes. In addition to the search history, you can also see your recent document history. So if you picked up a document last week and can't remember how you found it originally, not a problem. You can go back directly to that specific document and continue with your research. In addition to your document history, you can also save specific documents in Fastcase. So if there's a particular document that you refer to all the time, a statute section or a court rule, or just you have a favorite case, you can favorite that document just as if you were using a bookmark. But unlike the bookmarks on your browser, these travel with your Fastcase login. So if you logged in the office and then went and logged in from home and then went and logged in from the law library, doesn't matter. So long as you're logged in, your favorite documents will travel with you. So that's a great way to continue your research process no matter what computer you're on. And every single one of these can be organized into folders. So if you prefer to organize your favorites by a particular issue or by a particular client, very easy to do so. Just simply click on the folder, name it, and then you can add that particular document to a particular folder. You can also save certain search phrases. So if you run a search on a routine basis and you don't want to have to type it in every single time, you can simply save that search phrase and rerun it just by clicking on it from the History and Favorites menu. Is there a time limit for how long saved documents can be accessed? No. So long as you've saved it as your favorite, it is permanently available to you until you delete it. We'll take a look at how you save that document as your favorite once we're actually on a document. One last thing to point out from History and Favorites, and I'll show you this in more detail in a moment, but you can also create alerts in Fastcase. So let's say that you ran a search and you're interested in knowing when there's a new case or a new document that matches that particular search phrase, so you can stay up to date on that particular issue. You can set an alert on that search and you'll be notified via email anytime there's a new match for that particular search. And again, this is something that's included in your Fastcase access. So you can set 1 alert, you can set 10 alerts, you can set 1 million alerts. I feel sorry for your inbox, but you can set as many alerts as you'd like, and they will automatically be available to you via email. And you can also choose how you receive those alerts. So if you set one particular alert, you can set it as to run individually or set it to email you as what is known as a digest. So if you have 10 alerts, they would send you one email instead of sending you 10 separate emails. When you save a search phrase, can you edit it when you pull it up before it runs? No. At the moment, you would still run it first, but the second you run it, you can edit it right there on the results screen and go directly to your new search results. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the last icon that's down here, and then we'll talk about how you actually run a search in Fastcase. The last icon is, of course, near and dear to my heart. This is the Help and Support menu. And from here, you can access a ton of materials designed to help you use Fastcase. The first one I want to point out is the Fastcase User Guide. So the Fastcase User Guide has step-by-step instructions for using Fastcase with pictures that focus on every single feature in Fastcase. So you can have a copy of the user guide and be able to refer to it at any time and get a good understanding of what's in Fastcase. We also have our tutorial videos. We have short tutorial videos. These are 5-minute or less videos on specific features in Fastcase. So if, for example, after today, you don't know how to print a document, there's a video on that, and you can watch it on demand anytime you choose to. We also routinely offer webinars on Fastcase. So I mentioned we teach how to do Boolean searching. That's one of several webinars that we make available. They're all free, and you can sign up for them right there on the webinar schedule. But the last feature is one I love to point out. This is the hotkey feature, and what hotkeys do is they allow you to navigate the Fastcase system without having to use your mouse. So if you're somebody who prefers to use their keyboard, or if you're someone who's using an adaptive device, this is compatible with screen readers, so it's easier to navigate Fastcase without having to use a pointing device such as a mouse. So I really recommend you check out the hotkeys and see how they can facilitate your process in Fastcase. For the person who is asking how you log in, once you're logged into the DC Bar page, under Member Benefits, there's a button for legal research, and Fastcase is under that. All right, so now that we've gotten a brief tour of the Fastcase 7 homepage, let's talk about running a basic search in Fastcase. So let's say that you have a particular case or a particular citation in mind. One of the cool things about every search box in Fastcase is that it has a tool that we call Type Ahead. Type Ahead is a form of predictive typing. So literally, as you begin typing in Fastcase, the system looks to the letters you've typed so far and makes suggestions for particular search phrases or for particular documents that you might be interested in. So you've probably seen this with other search engines like Google or Yahoo or Bing, but literally the system is making suggestions for information that you might be interested in. As you can see on the screen, I entered MARB, as in Marbury versus Madison, and I don't have to click on a single thing. I don't have to finish my word. The system already knows what I have in mind, and I can click on Marbury versus Madison, and it will take me directly to that document. In fact, let's go ahead and do so. So literally, if I have a citation in mind, a document name in mind, party names, whatever information I have about that particular document, I can start entering it, and the system will make specific suggestions. So I don't even have to literally type a full word before I can get to the document I'm interested in, and I don't even have to end up on the results page. I can go directly to that particular document. Okay, we have a question about the alerts. Do they get set out faster if they are individual alerts or digest alerts? The alerts go out on a daily basis, so both the digest and the individual alerts go out on the same schedule. All right, so again, most of the time you don't have a particular case or a particular document in mind, that's fine too. So you're always welcome to enter a citation if you've got one, but Fastcase also supports the two major search methods, and those would be natural language and Boolean keyword searching. Just a quick definition, the natural language search is a search that's phrased as if you were speaking to another human being. So if I were to enter the phrase, "What is the penalty for arson?" the system would understand that question and would give you relevant results for that question. Now, just a minor note, a natural language search is always going to be a pretty broad search, and that's because you have not put any restrictions on it. So that means it will give you some tangential results. They'll still be relevant, but they can be tangential. This is in contrast to a Boolean or a keyword search. In a Boolean keyword search, you are specifying particular terms that you're interested in and giving connectors that tell our algorithm what exactly you want in the results. So for example, if I were to enter the phrase dog space /5 space bite, that would tell the system that I'm interested in the term dog being within 5 words of the term bite. I only want documents where they're that close together, and that will give me a very specific set of results. You do not have to specify if you are using natural language or Boolean. The system will automatically recognize it and provide the results. Are alerts live? Yes, the alerts are live and working in our system. I'll show you how to set one in just a moment. So let's go ahead and get ready to run a search. Before I enter my search phrase, I might want to set my jurisdiction. If I run a search without setting the jurisdiction first, the system is going to search the entire Fastcase database. So all jurisdictions, all document types, the whole enchilada. That's great if that's what you're interested in. If you don't want to search the entire database, you're going to want to set your jurisdiction first. To set your jurisdiction, click on the gray Jurisdiction and Sources button, and then on the left-hand side of the screen, you'll see the various states and federal jurisdictions, while on the right-hand side of the screen, you'll see the different document types. For this particular search, I'm going to go ahead and use DC as my jurisdiction. Once I've selected a particular jurisdiction on the left, I'm going to want to select a particular document type on the right. So for this particular example, let's go ahead. I'm going to scroll down just a little bit so I can get just the DC Superior Courts. Here we go. So I've just selected the DC Court of Appeals and the DC Superior Court. And I'm also going to go ahead and select a couple of other jurisdictions. So I can search, for example, case law and statutes and regulations all at the same time, so I don't have to run multiple searches to get the information about my topic. As you can see, once I've selected each of the document types, they're showing up here at the top of the page as my current source. Now, if I've selected a document type that I'm not interested in, I can remove it just by clicking on the X next to that particular library. All right, so again, I have my current sources selected here, and in between the libraries I've selected and the words current sources, I have a couple of small icons. The clock icon shows me recent jurisdictions that I've searched and recent ones that I've saved to the Fastcase system. So I can save a combination of jurisdictions for later if I don't want to manually add them later. If I click on the star, that will make this particular set of jurisdictions one of my favorite saved jurisdictions. So I'll go ahead and do that. And now you might see that I have a new button that has popped up. If I hit Save as Default, that will make this combination of jurisdictions the default library that I'll see when I first log into Fastcase. So when I'm on the Fastcase homepage, I would automatically see these 3 libraries as my default jurisdiction. Last button you'll see here, the X, clears all of the jurisdictions at once if I ever need to. Now that I've set my jurisdiction, I can hit the Done button and I'm ready to enter my search phrase. For this particular search, I'm going to use a Boolean search phrase. Hopefully everyone is a little bit familiar with Miranda warnings. And now that I've entered my search phrase and I have my jurisdiction set, I'm ready to hit search. All right, so now we're on the results page for Fastcase. And the first thing I want to point out is that your search phrase is still present here at the top of the page. So if you've got an error in your search, if you've got a typo, or if you want to add or remove a term from your search phrase, you can do so right here on the results page. You don't have to go back to the home page to modify your search. You can also search within your current results. All you have to do is type the word and then enter the new term that you want to search within using. So if I wanted to say Miranda warning and police, all I would have to do is type and police, hit search, and I'm searching within my current results. Okay, and it's going to refresh my results, that's fine. Before I tell you what's on the rest of this page, I also want to point out the small icons you have here at the top. The star icon saves this particular search phrase for later, so I'd find that in my history and favorites as a saved search. The bell icon, that sets an alert in the Fastcase system. So if I click on this bell, every time there's a new case that matches my search phrase, I'll receive an email for that particular new case. So I probably receive my first one first thing tomorrow. You can also see search phrases that you've previously saved and scopes that you've previously saved using this history button. If you select a group of saved jurisdictions, does that clear the ones already selected or add to it? It clears the ones that have already been selected and sets your jurisdictions to the ones that were saved. All right, so now that we're on the results page, let's explain the geometry here. Your results are in this center panel here on the page. And on the right, left, and bottom of the screen, yeah, that panel is currently hidden, but on all of those sides are tools that you can use to help you focus your search, get more information about your current search results, or get suggestions for expanding your current search results. My results in the center panel are bottomless, so that means as I scroll down, more results are automatically loading. So I don't have to worry about am I on page 1 or page 10 of the results. My results are automatically in relevance order. So that means that the more relevant results are at the top of the page, less relevant ones are pushed to the bottom. However, they don't have to stay in that order. I can click on any of these headers and have my results sort according to that particular topic. So for example, if I click on documents, my results will order alphabetically. If I click on dates, I will get newest to oldest. And if I hit date again, I'll get oldest to newest. I can also sort by total number of times cited, so I can pull those seminal cases to the top of my results as well. All right, on the left-hand side of the screen, you'll see the filters panel. All of the tools that are on this panel help you focus your search. So the first thing you'll see at the top of the page is the number of results in your current set of results, as well as the jurisdictions you've already set for your particular search. So if I ran my search before setting my jurisdiction, so it ran across the entire Fastcase database, I'd be able to use this available filters panel here to restrict my search to a particular jurisdiction. If I don't want a particular filter to be on my search, I can hit the little X icon, and that will remove that particular jurisdiction. So let's see, if I wanted to, I could, at this moment right here on the results page, add, let's say, the Colorado statutes. All I'd have to do is just click on that checkbox right there, and I will go ahead and get those results as well. We have a question, are there law journal databases available? There are law journal databases available, but they're not automatically part of your subscription, and we'll talk about that more in a minute. I'm going to hold that relevance question for just a moment. It'll make more sense in a second. All right, so in addition to adding particular filters or changing what my current scope is, I can also restrict my search to a particular date range. So if I click on the last 20 years, the last 10 years, the last year, or I can set a specific range, say for example 1983 to 1987, and then just hit apply, and my search will be restricted to that particular date range. Finally, in the bottom corner of this panel, I have a tool called the Suggested Terms List, and it has this list view, or there's a more colorful cloud view if you prefer that. But what this tool is doing is it's suggesting particular terms or phrases that you might want to add to your search phrase. So if you're not terribly familiar with a particular area of law, you might not know the terms of art or common legal phrases that the court uses to describe that issue. You can run a very general search, like our current Miranda warning search, and then see the most commonly appearing terms of art and legal phrases that are appearing in your current results. So for example, if I wanted to see Miranda warning cases in the context of, I don't know, a waiver, all I'd have to do is click on the plus sign next to that phrase. And as you can see, my search phrase here at the top of the page has updated, and so have my results. I didn't have to type a single thing, and now I'm getting much more specific search results. Similarly, if I wasn't interested in a particular term or a particular phrase, let's say that I was not interested in possession, I could click on this minus sign, and again, my results would update automatically right here. So it's a great way to get suggestions on how to focus your search without having to do a lot of brainstorming yourself. And again, any of these tool panels can be expanded or hidden just by clicking on the small arrow. So I've just hidden that left-hand panel, but I can unhide it again by clicking on the arrow right there. So I'm going to go ahead and expand our jurisdiction just so that the search results in our next tool are going to be as interesting as possible. So now at the bottom of the screen, you're going to see a tool that's unique to Fastcase, and this is called the Interactive Timeline. And what this particular tool does is it shows you information about your current results. And let me go ahead and make it a little bit more impressive just so that it's easier for you to see what I'm talking about. So all I've just done is added a filter, so we're looking at case law, so you'll get more results in the interactive timeline. There we go. All right, so what the interactive timeline is doing is it's showing me my current search results across a 4D timeline. So I can see at a glance relationships between these cases that are not immediately visible without a lot of sorting and a lot of filtering in my list of results. So let's say, for example, that I have two clients coming in and there's a small gap between their appointments. I might want to spend that gap doing a little bit of legal research. But where should I start? What result is going to be the most important for me to see first? Well, I can do a lot of filtering and use up some of my time, or I can glance down at the timeline and be able to see at a glance what a recent relevant case is that I might want to take a look at. So just explaining what you're seeing on the screen right now, the bottom or x-axis of the timeline is showing me changes over time. Cases towards the left are older, cases to the right are more recent. The y or vertical axis of the timeline is showing me relevance. The higher a case is, the more relevant that particular document is. So for my brief period of time, I'd look for a case that's over in this top right-hand corner of the timeline. Each of these circles represents an individual case, but the size of the circle is proportional to the number of times that case has been cited to. The larger the circle, the more seminal that particular case is. And as you can see, when I hover my mouse over a circle, I'll get the title of that case, how many times it's been cited to, and a brief excerpt from that case. Now, you'll also notice that there's a couple of different colors on the timeline. A case that has a red circle, that's a case that's had a negative interpretation. It's been overruled, remanded, superseded, or it's otherwise bad law. A case that has a large gray circle, that's a case that's been cited to a lot in the entire Fastcase database. But we've all been in the situation where we've opened a seminal case because we're excited that it's an important case, only to realize that that case is seminal for a different proposition or a different issue than the one we're trying to cite it for. That's where the final color on this timeline comes into play. Cases with a large blue circle are cases that have been cited to a lot by other cases on the same issue that you're currently searching for. So if I was looking for a seminal case on my Miranda warning issue with waivers, I'd go for this case first because that's a fairly seminal case, fairly recent, fairly relevant, and it has been cited to a great deal by other cases on the same issue. So a ton of information packed into a very small amount of space on your screen. Finally, on the results page that we're talking about right now, we have our suggested documents panel here on the right-hand side of the screen. So the suggested documents panel has two tools. You'll see some suggestions from some of our partners and from other libraries than the ones you're currently searching for at the bottom of this panel. But at the top of this panel, you'll see the Foresight tool, and this is one of my favorites. The Foresight tool helps you to double check your research and make sure you're not missing a seminal case just because of the terms you've chosen for your search phrase. So that sounds complicated, so let's use the example that's on the screen right now. For my Miranda warning search, there are thousands of relevant cases for that search. It's an issue that gets litigated all the time. However, in all of those 1,000 cases, I'd still be missing the seminal case on the topic. I'd be missing Miranda versus State of Arizona. And I'd be missing that seminal case because I used a term of art as part of my search phrase. Nowhere in Miranda versus State of Arizona does the phrase Miranda warning come up. Again, it was named after that case. So this happens all the time when you're using a term of art, but it can also happen if the court simply used a synonym for one of your search terms instead of using your search term in the case. And that's why the Foresight tool is so convenient. What Foresight does is it displays the seminal cases on the issue that you're currently searching for, but that would not be included in your search results. So you can see those seminal cases without having to phrase and rephrase your search to get around what language the court actually used. We have a question. Is there a Fastcase 7 version for iPad and iPhone? That's one of our summer projects. We are working on redoing our mobile app. Keep an eye on our blog. There'll be a big announcement for it when it's actually done. I've seen the mock-ups for it, and it is looking fantastic. So I can't wait myself for the new version for the mobile app. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at a case. Let's do this one. So here we are on the document view, and you can see by default, your search results are still present here on the left, while the document you've selected is present here on the right-hand side of the screen. And that's so that you can continue in your research process until you've found the document you're interested in. Then, if you want to make your case full page, all you have to do is click on the square icon right here, and your document will become full screen. So here's the case, and as you can see, it has citation, pagination, etc., anything you would need to use to cite the case to the court. Now, do remember that cases hit Fastcase as slip opinions first, because of course, that's the first available version of the case. If you run into a case that still has slip pagination and you need the full citation, please reach out to the Fastcase support team, especially using this little chat button down here, and we can frequently help you with that to ensure that you've got the full pagination if you run into one that doesn't have it. All right, above the text of the case are a bunch of tools that you can use to navigate the case and to make it more useful. The first tool I want to point out is the highlight tool over here on the left. As you can see, the search term that you used to find the case is automatically highlighted. So if I were to scroll down here, I'd see every location the phrase Miranda warning appears in this particular document. Now, I might be interested in seeing other terms now that I've found that document. Let's say, for instance, that I'm interested in seeing where the word appeal appears in this case. All I have to do is type it into the search box, hit the magnifying glass, and as you can see, my new term is now highlighted in the document in a different color, so I can see where it appears in relation to my original search phrase. And I can use these buttons to navigate from search term to search term, and back, of course, and to go to the most relevant paragraph for that particular document. Now, the 4 icons over here on the right are also very important. Let's start with the rightmost one, the one that looks like a sideways V. This is our sharing icon, and from here you can share information from Fastcase in 2 different ways. You can email documents directly from Fastcase. All you have to do is enter the email address of the recipient, and then they will receive the document you're sending in the body of the email, just like it was a message in the email. So you don't have to worry about, is there an attachment? Did the attachment go through? The document will send directly in the body of the email. You can also generate what's known as a public link. So what I've just done is I've generated a public domain copy of the primary law document I'm looking at. And again, this is available for all primary law in Fastcase. Anyone I send this link to has access to exactly the same document with exactly the same formatting and exactly the same pagination as the document I was viewing in Fastcase. However, the recipient does not have to be logged into Fastcase. They don't even have to have Fastcase access at all. All they need is that link, and they can see that document directly. If you email something from Fastcase, the recipient will not receive any marketing or follow-ups from Fastcase. It is not a marketing ploy on our end, I promise. Same thing with the public link. There is the message about signing up for a free trial here on the left, but other than that, they will just get the public link or public domain copy of the public link. So again, you could embed this on your web page, you could share it in a newsletter, you could send it to opposing counsel or to a client or to a student, anyone that you're not certain if they have legal access, and they can see exactly the same document as you're currently viewing. Really great for those pro bono opportunities, by the way. All right, so that's the public link. One more thing to point out, when you copy text from Fastcase, so let's say that the paragraph I just highlighted is the best paragraph, and I'm going to paste it into my memo. That's perfectly fine. When you paste it into the memo, it will automatically bring the text that you've copied, and it will bring with it the citation for the document. And that's to make it easier for people to cite properly and to attribute properly. However, not everybody likes that feature. If you want to turn that function off, from this sharing menu, you just uncheck this option here at the bottom, and that will turn that feature off. All right, so I did promise to show you how to save a case. This star icon right here, when you first open the case, it will be black and white like you see currently on the screen. If you click on that star icon, it will turn blue, and that case will then be saved as a favorite case that you can access from your history and favorites. So if I go over here to history and favorites, at the bottom of my list, there is the USV banner case that we are currently looking on. The copy with citation that we were just talking about a moment ago currently only brings with it the main site for the case. It does not bring a pin site. That is something we're working to upgrade so that it'll automatically pin site. Stay tuned to our updates in the future. The next icon over here, this is the one that's shaped like a downward pointing arrow. This is how you download and print from Fastcase. Fastcase does not print directly to your printer. Instead, you generate an electronic copy of the case, either PDF or Microsoft Word format, which you can then print or save or email, whatever makes sense for your research process. All you have to do is click on Download Now, and you'll see those 2 options that I mentioned. And you can choose if your document will have dual columns, like the old reporters, or will be single column and take advantage of the full page width. Once you've downloaded it, again, you just hit download, That document is going to show up in the bottom corner of your browser, and you can save it, email it, whatever you choose to do. If you're on a roll and you don't want to print or download documents one at a time, you can add a document to your download queue. You just click on Add to your document queue, and then here at the top of the page, you'll see all of the documents that you've saved for later for printing or for downloading. So I only have one, but I could add other cases, statutes, etc. This is very convenient if you want to print, say, for example, an entire chapter of the regs or an entire section of the code. Just simply add the sections that you're interested in, and you can download them all at the same time. So once you've confirmed that you've got the correct documents, you just click on the download arrow, and then you have the same document format and column choices that you had before. You also have the option to download your documents two different ways. You can download them as one long single file, which tends to be more convenient for those statutes or regs, or you can download them as a zipped archive, where all of the documents are individual documents in one large zipped folder. And again, that tends to be more convenient for cases. You can also see things you've downloaded in the past. So if you downloaded something and then, like me, managed to lose it, you can re-download it on the spot and have a new copy. All right, one last icon to show you, and that's this flag icon here. This flag icon is visible here from the document page and from your results page. And this is the link to the Fastcase citator called Authority Check. It's not Shepard's, that's the intellectual property of another company. All right, the flag will be red if the case has a negative interpretation, and it will be black and white if there's no negative interpretation. When you click on the flag, the report opens on the left-hand side of the screen. And at the top of the report, you'll see statistics about that case. How many times has that case been cited to? By what level of court? Has there been any negative interpretation? This case does have a negative interpretation, so you can see under bad law, it indicates how many times it's been cited to negatively, and then we see the header bad law but. This header is only present if the case has a negative interpretation. The cases immediately underneath that negative interpretation show you why we flagged that case. This particular case has been vacated on other grounds. I wouldn't cite to it if I had any other options. And then underneath that, you'll see a full list of all citing cases, so you can see how the case was treated in later iterations. Finally, at the bottom of the Authority Check panel, you'll see a timeline for that individual case, showing you where that case falls in the case history. Now, this report can be sorted, so you can sort it by most recent, see the most recent citations at the top, by most cited, so you can see those seminal cases at the top, or you can filter it down to a particular jurisdiction. So if you want to see only the cases citing from the 11th Circuit, you could do so. And you can download this report separate from your case. Just click on the download arrow here. All right, enough about the document view. Let's take a quick look at a couple of advanced options, and then we'll take a look at browse mode. So clicking on that gear icon opened the advanced screen for me. First thing I want to point out from this advanced screen is that you have an option here called guided search. Guided search is a way of doing a Boolean search without having to remember how all those connectors work. So if you're a little uncomfortable with doing those within or proximity connectors, or you don't remember when you need to use parentheses or not, you can use the guided search panel to help do that work for you. So this is a list of all of the connectors that are available in Fastcase, and then this is the system that allows you to get assistance with putting those connectors in. So for example, if I was interested in a case that had the word bird or dog or cat, I don't have to put those ors in. I can just type the terms I'm interested in, click on add to my search, and as you can see, the system has put the ors and parentheses in for me. Finally, the other tab I wanted to show you is this Advanced Settings tab here on the right. From here, you can adjust a couple of settings about your search results, And we can talk about the relevance algorithm that we use to determine if a particular document is more relevant than another one. So Fastcase by default shows you only the most recent edition of documents. So only the most recent code, only the most recent regulations, only the most recent court rules. But Fastcase does have historic editions of documents. If you want to see those historic editions in your results, just make sure that this box here is checked. Same thing with a couple of other categories that you can filter out. All right, underneath that, there's the relevance algorithm. So we had a question earlier, how does Fastcase determine relevance? Well, every research company does it differently. In Fastcase, we take 8 factors into account, which you can see on the screen right now. And these include responsiveness, how closely your terms appear to one another, and how many times they appear. Importance, which indicates the number of times that particular document has been cited to. Authority, the level of the court that's issued that particular document. Date, including more recent documents are favored, etc. And 4 factors based off of the usage in Fastcase. Now, not only do we take all of these factors into account, and not only do we tell you that we're taking those factors into account, but you can actually customize this to your preferences as a researcher. As you can see, there's sliders for every single one of these factors, and you can increase or decrease the importance of that factor to determine what order your results appear in. So for example, if you like seeing those seminal cases at the top of your results, just simply increase that factor and they will end up at the top of your results automatically. And again, this can be customized. Different people have different preferences. This does not change the number of results you get, but simply what order those results appear in. So again, I do recommend adjusting those factors to your preferences as a researcher. Alrighty, so now that we've talked about some of those advanced options, I want to remind everyone that all of the search methods we've spoken to so far apply to case law, but they also apply to other document types as well. So you could use the same tools and techniques on statutes, regulations, etc. But for non-case law, you also have an additional option. So here at the top of the page, you'll see a bright blue Browse button. Try saying that fast. If you click on that Browse button, it'll take you to the outline for your particular jurisdiction. Mine is defaulting to Maryland, but let's go ahead and switch it to DC. Once you've selected your jurisdiction using that drop-down in the top left corner, you'll see that your materials are separated out according to whether they're primary materials or secondary materials. Your DC bar access gives you access to all primary materials in Fastcase. So all 50 states, all federal cases, statutes, regulations, court rules, all of that information. However, you can upgrade your access to include secondary content as well. So we do have journals, treatises, dictionaries, expert witness profiles, etc. in the Fastcase system, and you can upgrade your system to provide access to those materials as well. So those would be on the right-hand side of the screen, while primary law is on the left. Each of these libraries has small icons next to it. If a library has a magnifying glass next to it, that's a library that can be searched. If a library has 3 lines next to it, that's a library that you can access from browse mode. And if a library has a price tag next to it, that's a library that you do not currently have access to, but can upgrade and gain access to if you choose to, a la carte. So let's take a look at browse mode for just a second. I'm just going to grab the DC code. And from here, I can select the edition of the document that I'm interested in. Once I've expanded that particular edition, it's going to show me the different titles, divisions, and chapters that I'm interested in. Let's grab Division 4 just for fun. Let's do this one. Let's do murder just for fun. As you can see, I can navigate down the particular sections of the statute until I've reached the section I'm interested in. Once I've selected that, the outline will remain visible on the left-hand side of the page, while the document I've selected is now visible on the right-hand side of the page. So this is particularly convenient for statutes because it means I can hop around in the outline of the statute without having to search for each section separately. And again, my document is visible here on the right-hand side of the page. I have all of the tools that I had for the case law, with one change. Instead of having the flag for the citator, I have a capital A for annotations. If I click on that capital A, the annotations will open on the left-hand side of the page, and I'll be able to review and see how that statute has been treated in the case law. So again, very easy to access the annotations. And just a quick note about how quickly Fastcase updates. New case law hits the Fastcase system within 24 hours of that opinion being released by the court. So an opinion that was released yesterday would be in the Fastcase system today. Within about a minute and a half of that new case hitting the Fastcase system, it's updated on all reports in Fastcase. So it would be updated on our citator, and it's also updated in the annotations. So if your case was overturned yesterday, you'd know about it today. If a case cited to the statute yesterday, you'd know about it today. Very, very quick system. And speaking of your DC bar access, I did mention that you have access to all 50 states, all federal materials, and that access is unlimited. So that means that you can be logged into Fastcase as long as you'd like. You can run one search, you can run 10 searches, you can run 1,000,000 searches. Well, we noticed that last one, but you're still welcome to search as much as you'd like. And the same thing goes for downloading and printing. You can download one document, you can download 10 documents. I did help someone download the entire US code. I still have no idea what he wanted to do with it, but it's not a problem. You can download and use Fastcase as much as you'd like. There are no incremental charges for doing so. Now, I did mention we have secondary content. That secondary content, as I mentioned, is an optional add-on to Fastcase, but there's two secondary sources that we've made free in the Fastcase 7 system, which you're welcome to use as well. The first of these options is JurisPro. JurisPro is an expert witness database providing basic information about expert witnesses. So let me just enter a common topic. So what you're seeing now is a list of expert witnesses who have testified in the area of education. When I click on them, I'll see basic information about that expert witness, including contact information, biographical information, topics that they specialize in or have expertise in, just information that you might like to know about a particular expert witness while deciding if you want to reach out to them and hire them perhaps for your client situation. The other secondary source that you have access to for free from Fastcase 7 is a resource that's called LexBlog, and you'll see it here at the bottom of the secondary material. LexBlog is the single largest curated database of legal blogs, so you can see articles written by leading practitioners and experts in their field. So there's a wealth of really great legal thought and legal outlines and expertise that's available to you through the LexBlog platform, and you can use that to further your research purposes and get more information about a particular topic that might not have a full-blown treatise or a full-blown journal article written yet because it is so very cutting edge and very new. So just wanted to mention that those two databases are accessible from the Fastcase 7 system only. All right, so I know I'm running out of time, but I have a couple of questions here in the system, so I just want to answer those questions quickly. The first question that's come up a couple of times, will today's system webinar be available as a recording? Yes, the system we will have it recorded and posted available, and I'll automatically send a link to this recording to all registrants for today's session. Does Fastcase include unreported cases? Yes, we do. We are working on expanding our database of unreported cases, but we do include unreported cases in our database. At the moment, we do not have a filter to remove those unreported cases, but that is something we're considering adding as a part of our fall project work. Can you jump to a statute and return to the document quickly? We don't have the statutes directly linked because we don't want to link to the wrong edition of the statutes, but that's something we're working on for the future. Stay tuned for an update on that. Let's see, are there any other questions that I did not get to? Again, all questions are welcome. I'd be delighted to answer any questions you have today. Are there page numbers and pin sites in Fastcase? Yes, our cases do have page numbers and pin sites. Do recall that cases do hit our system as slip opinions first because that's the first available edition of the document. And then as the pagination becomes available, we add it to the system. If you ever have a question about pagination or pin sites, please reach out to us using that chat button in the bottom corner of the screen, and we can help you with that particular issue. MyCase integration. We are not currently integrated with MyCase. You might have seen that we do have an integration with Clio at this time. Things do change in the future. Stay tuned and we'll see if that does happen. Yes, my name is Erin Page. I'm the Senior Law Librarian and Reference Attorney here at Fastcase Legal Research, and it's a pleasure to teach and to show you guys the Fastcase 7 system. If you have any questions about today's presentation or about Fastcase in general, I do recommend that you click on the Help button and then select the More Support option. That takes you to our support page where you can access the user guide, the tutorial videos, the webinar list, and at the bottom of the page, you'll see the contact information for reaching out to the support page or to the support team. The chat button is going to be in the bottom corner of your screen. In Fastcase 7, it's on the bottom right. On Fastcase 6, the old classic version, it's on the bottom left. We do have an update coming out for the mobile app. That is one of our summer projects. So yes, that update will be available. I don't have a date yet, but it will be available for both Android and for iPhone. Let's see, any other questions? All right. So I will be available for the next couple of minutes, but I think I've gotten all the questions. If I've missed a question, please feel free to re-enter it or to reach out to us directly. We'd be delighted to answer any of your questions. And it has been a pleasure to show all of you the Fastcase 7. I hope that you'll reach out to us with any questions that you have, any feedback that you have, and I hope that everyone has a wonderful afternoon. Can a non-practicing DC bar member use Fastcase? You're going to have to check with your member benefits with the DC bar. I honestly don't know off the top of my head, but do check with the member benefits team and they'll be able to answer that for you. All right, so we have a couple of extra questions. Are any treatises available for free in Fastcase 7? Not at this time, but we do frequently have small articles and white papers that become available. Reach out to the Fastcase team and we can add you to those types of lists. Does Fastcase include local law? To what level? Example, Montgomery County, Maryland, Rockville, Maryland. At the moment, we have the precedential law, so that would be the appellate and Supreme Courts in all 50 states. We are contemplating adding some trial courts, which would include that local law. We have not done so yet, but if you feel strongly about it, please reach out to us. We always value that feedback. How much does it cost to add journal access? It depends on the journal. There's a couple of different options, so you're best off reaching out to us directly and we can help you with that pricing information. You have access to Fastcase through multiple bar associations, Maryland and Virginia. Any advantage to using one over the other? Most of our bar partners have premium access to Fastcase, in which case your access is pretty identical. The DC bar has a couple of extra forms and judges' rules that are specific to DC that are only available for DC bar members. If you are using the Virginia and the Maryland accesses, those would be the Virginia access is premium. The Maryland access is Maryland only. You can upgrade it to all 50 states, but that does incur an annual upgrade fee. So if you're using those two accesses, I would recommend either DC or Virginia. Does Fastcase include local codes? We have some local codes, not many. It is an area, again, where we're just starting to consider expanding into. So mostly North Carolina at the moment, but others might be coming. Depends on the future. All right, looks like I got all the questions. I'd like to thank everyone again for joining us for today's session. I hope that everyone has a wonderful afternoon. And again, please reach out to us if you have any further questions or feedback. We value your reach and we hope that you have a great day.